Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead is an incredibly difficult, open-world survival game set in a universe where every single apocalypse has happened. A zombie outbreak, invasions from other dimensions, Lovecraftian horror monsters, SCP lab outbreaks, and magical disasters. It all just happened at once. I want to do a deep dive into this world and have a narrative character to follow, thus we meet Aiden. Named after the Greek Adonis, ironically he was born sickly and weak. His entire life has been spent indoors, playing video games, scrolling through the internet, and watching YouTube tutorials. Doctors told him he'd never live to 30. However, in his mid-20s, his luck finally turned. An experimental science project called Becoming reached out to him, offering him a new life, and he eagerly accepted. After a harrowing series of surgeries and bionic implants, Aiden was made something more than the sum of his parts. The next day, the Cataclysm happened. The initial portal storm hit his home city hard, riots and monsters, destroying most of the city in mere moments. In the midst of the worst of the chaos, a small portal appeared in Aiden's apartment, and a cybernetic monster, barely recognizable as once human, stepped through. The creature tossed a strange black crystal to him and simply said, "Seek the Idzodi," then vanished quickly as it had appeared. Now we find Aiden in his small apartment, waking up after the ravages of the first storm. With a crystal beside him, a mysterious goal, and power awakening within him. He has never been happier. Sure, the world ended, but he's been waiting his whole life to live. There's no way he's going to let a few eldritch monsters and hordes of undead to stop him now. I think the first thing Aiden is going to do is take stock. We don't have much. We have our eyeglasses, which we need to be able to see. We have a cell phone, and we have this lifting field, this energy around us that we can put a single item into, granted to us whenever we picked up this strange black crystal for the first time. We also have a few powers available to us. We have Night Eyes and Speed Reader, which allow us to see in the dark and or read books quicker, respectively. And we also have Force Shove and Farhand. Force Shove, which is a power not unlike what you see in movies, where we can shove something against the back wall, and if we shove it hard enough into a solid object, not another creature, but a solid object, we can even do damage. And Farhand, which allows us to pull things towards us, and there's some pretty clever ways that we can use this. Lastly, we check the readout on Aiden's left wrist that lets him know what the state of his bionics are. We have a metabolic interchange that allows us to turn food into bionic power. And then we have a couple things that allow us to sort of look at what our situation is, mess with our immune system, and analyze our blood for foreign bodies, filter out anything, including drugs. And then we have one that will be getting used excessively. Repair nanobots. Unfortunately, our flesh is still weak because of our flimsy, lightweight, nearsighted, and poor healing, that we will be forced to use these repair nanobots to get almost any amount of healing done. We're going to leave them off for now, but I will say that one nice thing about these is that they will not consume power if there's nothing to heal. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that our metabolic interchange will also not consume power if there's no power that needs to be made, essentially. So we actually can realistically leave both of these on. I'm just going to go ahead and decide ahead of time that we're going to leave them both on, because if we take any wounds on this first day, we don't want to spend any time activating our bionics. I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick up the crystal. We want to bring it with us. We'll even favorite it, because out of everything we have, it's the only thing we really care about. We are going to favorite our eyeglasses as well, though, because if we lose those, then we're going to have some serious issues with vision. And we're just going to look around our room real quick. So we have a halter top, an extra pair of glasses, a rain hood, a leather collar, black leather collar with a bell dangling from the front. Don't worry, the bell's silent. Let's not talk about why that's there. And a pair of fingerless gloves, which we will actually just go ahead and wear, because those are just good for us. They give no encumbrance, and they give a little bit of protection to our hands. There is a little bit of water in here, but it is frozen. Despite it being day 90 of spring, that's kind of a A weirdness of Cataclysm is that the water is always frozen for the first day or two. And there's a wood saw here. That's actually very useful. Tree cutting, wood sawing, and absolutely terrible butchering quality. I don't even know why you would put -90 on there. Let's see. We have some knives, some butter knives, a pot. We're going to take that pot, and we're just going to move it. And then we're going to check these knives real quick. The chef knife is probably the best one. Let's check the steak knife. Yeah, the chef knife is definitely the best out of all of those with a 16 pierce. We'll go ahead and wield that. We're going to put the pot in this room here. That'll be actually Aiden's room itself. And, ooh, a flashlight. It's going to be hard to carry that, though, without any kind of backpack. It's going to be one of our earliest goals to find a backpack. We do have a little bit of food. A couple plastic bottles of mineral water here. We're going to take one of those with us, just in case. Some leather gloves. And a dive hat, cotton hat, knit hat, wetsuit shorts, and a small fire extinguisher. Okay, so that's about all we have in our apartment. We have a weapon. I think the last thing we need to do before we actually leave is we're going to step out onto the balcony here and just take a look around. So we're in our apartment tower on the 4th level. And if we head down into the city proper, yeah, the portal storms did a number on our home city of Lowell. There is a lot of undead around. There is an absolute lot of them. An absolutely crazy amounts. We are pretty close to the river, and there's more buildings off to the west there. Kind of a nice little thing. There's a huge police department down to the south. This is enough zombies that it is going to be unlikely for us to be able to get a lot done right away. We're going to want to make sure that we get as much done in this apartment tower as possible before we even head out. One of our goals early here is that a lot of these other apartment buildings are going to be locked, and we're going to have a hard time getting into them, right? So one of our earliest goals is going to be to make a makeshift crowbar. So we're going to go ahead and favorite that recipe. And we'll go ahead and favorite some recipes for bandages as well. We already have a cutting tool, so we can favorite the nicer recipe for bandages. And I think we need a makeshift hammer as well in order to make the crowbar. So we'll favorite that. So what do we need? We need a pipe and a tool of hammering with one or more. I will note that I know for a fact that pipes actually have a tool of hammering one or more. So we're going to put our knife away. And I think Aiden likes his appliances, but knows the situation he's in. He's seen out there. He's seen what the world's like. And he is ready. He is an optimist, and he is ready to survive in this apocalypse. He's played video games before. He knows what he's supposed to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down, probably just bash down some of the stuff here. I'm thinking the sink might be the best option. The problem is that Aiden's very weak with his strength, so there's a good chance that we actually can't bash this down. We bring our knee down on the sink multiple times, smashing into it, and finally we hear it break. Okay, we got some copper tubings and a set of pipe fittings. The pipe fittings will be useful. We'll catch our breath real quick. Let's see about the gas oven. Hopefully we can break this. There we go. We got some sheet metal, copper wire, scrap metal. Okay, that's something. What we're going to do is we're actually going to open the window here, and we're going to see there's no weapons we can make with that. That's a little unfortunate. We could make a brazier. Wait, we have a tool of hammering 2 or more? Where? Hold on. Let's go ahead and say quality hammering. Apparently a chunk of steel has a hammering of 1. Where are we getting a tool of hammering 2 or more? Is there just a hammer in one of these shelves? There is. Okay. So we're going to pull out that hammer. I missed that with my initial... I missed that there was another shelf, another thing here. Okay. So the hammer helps a lot. In fact, we actually probably could have deconstructed some stuff because of the hammer. Okay, we're going to break down... we'll move everything out of it first, but we're going to break down the fridge next. And it looks like we're not damaging it. However, we have notified our neighbors that we're here. What we're going to do is we're going to leave our hammer. We'll use this as a workbench back here. We'll leave our hammer there. And we'll pull out our chef's knife. I think we're going to check our neighbor apartments. See if them are open. That door's locked. That one's open. But we do see a boomer. Can we take it? So what we're going to do, I think, is Aiden is very physically weak. If we tried to get this thing in a melee fight, it's just going to explode on us. So what we're going to do is Aiden's going to very quickly step in, rush off to one side, and we were going to try and aim to push this thing, but I just realized that it's actually out of range, and it spit bile at us, actually knocking us to the ground. So can we do it here? No. Our force shove actually only has a range of 2 right now, which means we have to step all the way up to here, and we're going to yeet it backwards. As we do, it hits the back wall, but it doesn't take any damage. Let's try it again. Once again, we're just not strong enough yet. We're going to close the door. Catch our breath. We also see that there's a fat zombie in there. We don't want this to be the first encounter with any of these to be our death. Now that they've already damaged the door, we're not actually going to be able to get in there anymore. But the fat zombie came out. Okay, here's my goal. We know we're on the 4th floor. We're going to let this fat zombie get closer to us. And then we're going to go around it, push it. And we unfortunately did too good of a job, as we actually yeeted it across. Oh, and then it slipped and fell. And it fell down the ledges. Okay. We've gotten rid of one of them. Where's the other one? Right there. See if we can get it to come out. And we'll do the same thing again. Wait until it gets somewhere. There it goes. And push. We lose our concentration. Push it again. Okay. And as it came for us, once again, it fell down. Okay. That was honestly kind of lucky. The bile in the wave keeps making Aiden slip as he tries to get in. But we did manage to get into another apartment now. There's some food here. Definitely something we're going to want to keep track of. We'll close the windows because we don't want things outside on the ground to see us. Things will be able to see us from a pretty long distance, and we're going to be attracting a lot of zombies here if we let those things see us. So it looks like we have some painkillers and some soap. We'll keep that in mind. I'm looking for something that will let us... office scissors is good. Ooh, welding wire. We'll grab that and bring that back real quick. We're looking for something that will allow us to... Ooh, actually, hold on, this utility shelf. I'm pretty sure... Oh no, we're using our chef knife. Oops. We need to go back and get our hammer, which gives us an opportunity to put away these welding wires and office scissors as well. So we just need one pipe. And if we can get one pipe, we're going to be able to break down a lot of these buildings and break down these doors, more importantly. So let's see if we can break down this shelf. We're damaging the hammer, and we're not damaging the shelf. Can we damage it with our bare hands? No. Okay. Can we deconstruct it? Let's turn on our flashlight real quick on the cell phone and see if we can deconstruct it. Oh my god, we could deconstruct it the whole time. And we got 8 pipes! Holy crap, that is actually way better than I was expecting. Way better than I was expecting. Let's go ahead and just haul all of it. We hear shuffling inside this apartment. Okay, we'll haul everything back to here and make a makeshift crowbar. Okay. That is a significant step up here. Now that we have the makeshift crowbar, we can go ahead and take that off. We also want to make some lockpicks. We want to get good at lockpicking very soon because we're not very strong. So getting doors open with lockpicks is actually just going to be a lot easier for us. We're going to take that lockpick into an improvised lockpick and take it with us. So there's a chance we can't get the door open with the crowbar. Whatever's behind us here, we're going to do the same strategy as before. We'll even move this stuff out of the way. And we're going to do the same strategy as before. We're going to open up the door, and anything that's behind us here, behind this door, of course, we can't get significant leverage with our crowbar. Okay, so we're going to try and do it with a lockpick then. But anything behind this door, we're going to maneuver in such a way that we can yeet it down the stairs. And we're probably not going to be good enough at lockpicking yet to do that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to check the rest of the doors real quick. See if any of them are open. There's one. Okay. Carefully move our way in. We see some thread here. That'll be very useful. And a battery. A lot of this stuff we're going to have access. Ooh, some nice books. Out of the Cage, Auto Weed, Big Book of First Aid, Hot Rod. Go ahead and close the windows here. See if there's any bandages. Nope. Again, close the windows. We don't want anything down below to get attracted up to the 4th floor here. Because if we can clear this 4th floor of this apartment building, then we will actually have a little bit of a safe haven here. But there's a lot of work to be done to get to that point. How do we get into these other rooms? I think that lockpicking might end up being our best option, because we can't make a better crowbar than the one that we have right now, which only has 1 level of prying. It seems unlikely that we're going to be able to do it, and I think we want to work from this way out because we'll have light here. We know that there's zombies in here. Another thing that we could do is we could just bust down the door. Since we failed again and we've wasted like an hour and a half now trying to open this door, I think we're just going to bust it down. There's a zombie dog in there. Okay. We're going to take a moment to catch our breath and back away from the zombie dog. We're going to step here. Lost our concentration. Yeeted him. Okay. Oh. I think what we're going to have to do is, yeah, we're going to step here. Lost our concentration again. Oh, come on. We're running out of stamina. Okay. With his last stamina, Aiden shoves the zombie into the open air and sees it careen down, but not before the zombie managed to bite our torso. That bite felt really deep. Okay, we're all catch our breath. Our torso is already beginning to regenerate with the repair nanobots. We're going to keep in mind that we're going to be spending calories really fastly while repairing. And now we are in a desperate search. We need to find antiseptics or something similar now. We have no choice. Oh, hey, there's a plastic apron there. That gives us a little bit of coverage. We're going to go ahead and wear it. The wetsuit hood also gives us a little bit of coverage. And it's not that much encumbrance, so we're going to wear that too. It's a poor fit, but it's something like armor. There's a signet ring there. Nothing in this bathroom. Newsboy cap, briefcase. Again, we'll close the windows, because in the future we want to be able to come into here without too much concern. Just double check, make sure that there wasn't any antiseptic here. Antacids. Oh, no. Butyrol. Fortunately, we don't have asthma. We're gonna do the same thing. Bust down the door. Catch our breath every once in a while. Once the door gets busted down, we don't want to be out of breath. We found a screwdriver. We could actually just tape these doors down. I don't know if you can take down a locked door, though. Okay. We didn't hear anything come the door, so we can be pretty... Oh, hey, there's a whole bunch of hetzamine in there. We can make a hetzamine stove. That'd be really useful. We can be pretty positive that there's no zombies in here. Screwdriver. Perfect. Okay, now we can just deconstruct things. Already looking good here. Let's see. Cotton balls, ammonia, washing soda. Nothing like what we need here. Okay. Let's see. I don't think we can, but I think we're gonna try. Can we take down? No. We cannot take down a door that is locked. So we are going to have to bust it down. Don't damage our crowbar. Actually, is our crowbar even the best thing for this? Bashing 9. The crowbar is the same amount of bashing as our hammer is. Again, nothing came to the door, so we know it's empty. Nothing in the bathroom. That's not good. We need antiseptic badly. We get an infection this early. Aiden knows how that goes. He's seen zombie movies. Infection on day 1, that's just death. There's no way you're going to survive that. Worst case scenario, we find antibiotics for after the infection sets in. Bust down another door. Once again, our neighbors aren't home. He knows they're zombies now, but even Aiden likes to still think of them as his neighbors. He didn't really know any of these people before. They all just thought he was some sickly kid. None of them really took the time to get to know him, so he doesn't really know any of them in turn. And looking around, there's a lot of useful things here, but we don't see any healing medication, any antibiotics. I think we only have one room left on our floor. Our crowbar's about to break, but fortunately, we can easily make another one. We got eight pipes out of that earliest little deconstruction there. Still not seeing what we need. Check the bathroom. There's a sports drink. A lot of good books, though. We're going to be really good on early game knowledge here. And as a bit of a bookworm himself, Aiden is going to be very happy to read through all of these books. I think really quickly we're going to eat this raw potato because we know that we've spent a bunch of calories with our power supply system here. Okay. It's dangerous, but it's a risk that we have to take. We're going to go down to the next floor. We're going to check. Ooh, what's this? One of the doors is boarded up. There's a chance that there's someone still here. We're checking all the doors, make sure there isn't any that are just unlocked. Another boarded up door. Can we pry that open? No, we can't. Okay. Second verse, same as the first. Bust down the doors. We don't hear any residents coming to it, so it seems like a lot of people weren't home this morning. Probably headed out to work early in the morning. And this is one of the consequences of no hope. We have searched several rooms now, and we're not finding anything of what we need. And desperately need, too. We're going to leave the doors that are boarded up for now. We could go back and get our hammer. It would make this work a little bit easier. But the reason I don't want to do that is because this is replaceable. Our hammer isn't. Our hammer actually gives us something nice. Ooh, there's a leather trench coat there. Okay. We'll have to keep that in mind. It's a poor fit right now, so it would be kind of inconvenient to wear. But later on, once we can actually do something with it. Where's the bathroom in this room? In this house design? Can I tell by looking at the other ones? Has to be this door. Okay. It sucks because our crowbar is about to break, but we have to break this down. Okay. We can see through the cracks of the door. Is there anything in there? Toilet brush. No. Plenty of food. Plenty of food. As we are trying to lockpick this door, Aiden is once again lucky. He's a person kind of filled with luck, as our wound has actually healed. The bite wound has healed. It did not get infected. We're going to drink some of our mineral water because we're starting to get thirsty. And our panic, at least for the moment, has subsided. We're hearing a lot of really loud smashes and crashes below. See, can we actually see below? If we go up to the roof, we probably can. Hold on. Let's take a look. Yeah. Looks like we have some sort of building over here. A gun store. What's up to our north? Kind of just take a look around real quick. A huge horde sitting around the northern side of the building. Okay. Aiden sees that and just kind of... Holy crap. Holy crap. Aiden backs away from the ledge. He has no comment. Something's been killing these. A bunch of ferals dead. First I thought something must have been going on, but that's a lot of ferals. Yeah, there's a lot of strange dead there. And this side of the apartment complex has absolutely no zombies, which may be valuable information, it may not be. It looks like the first floor of this place has been pretty heavily destroyed. Something even took out some of the walls. So the first floor is going to be off limits, at least for a day or so. We want to give them a chance to move on, perhaps. And it looks like all of the zombies that are nearby are on the northern side of this building. So something might have happened over there. something that attracted a bunch of the zombies from the nearby areas. You see some turkeys off in the distance. And there's a building really close by here, just a house. Whenever we do leave, this is probably going to be our way out, down the stairs and out this back area to this house, because it provides the most amount of cover. However, Aiden kind of knows that we need to be better prepared before we leave our apartment. Rushing out into the apocalypse isn't going to get anything done. We're going to drop our old broken down crowbar, make a new one fairly quickly. And I just noticed that our chef knife is actually floating in our lifting field. How you can imagine that is like there's literally a knife floating behind his head, something that he can just instinctually do. Doesn't even need to focus on it. So what do we need before we leave? We need bandages, which we can get by tearing down these curtains. As soon as we did that, we realized that we probably didn't want to do that there, to be honest. But that's okay. That's not going to be the worst thing in the world. Just make a handful of makeshift bandages. Now, the bandages are going to be a lot less effective on Aiden here because he will not heal very quickly, even with a bandage. We can disassemble this microwave. Looks like there's nothing in there that is super useful for us. We can just go around and disassemble a few things around the house real quick. And my goal is to get enough things that we could probably make a cudgel. It's an early weapon that will be at least something. It has some blocking ability. We don't have the recipe for it. So we actually need to practice melee for just a little bit so that we can get the recipe. There we go. Craft it on our table so the crafting's a little bit faster. And once we have a cudgel, we'll be able to have a little bit of blocking so that we can... Whenever... We're going to have to be very reliant on our psionic abilities early on because we are very, very weak. And it does seem like there are some creatures on the floor just below us. We'll probably go ahead and drop the chef's knife because the cudgel is... Like, it does less damage on the surface, but it's going to be better than the chef's knife. And we'll go ahead and store the cudgel in our lifting field so that we can equip the makeshift crowbar. The makeshift crowbar is not the best thing in the world, but at least it's useful. And it's expendable. One of my first goals is still to clear out this area just a little bit so that Aiden has a safe house here in which to work. So I think we're going to, and we're still worried about what happened with the antiseptic there. So I think we're going to come down and we're going to see if we can find some antiseptic, because if we get bit again, we can't just rely on the wound luckily not being not being infected. And at least the first couple of days, maybe only the first day of Aiden's life is going to be like this, where we're going to have to find creative ways in this apartment complex in order to craft some of the stuff that we need, learn some of the skills we need before heading into the apocalypse proper. Because, well, there's already evolved zombies down there. There's very little we could do against them, at least for now. One thing that we might do is we might even focus on making our psionics a little better. Just kind of focus on laying in bed and grabbing items and yeeting them around our room just to get a better handle of what we're capable of. And to practice this new skill. Antifungal, acetaminophen. I got really excited for a second there. Cough syrup. I've heard that sometimes cough syrup can be really useful, and not having cough syrup can be massively detrimental. There's some cigarettes there. He's gonna grab those. Aiden's not a smoker, but he does know that cigarettes are pretty good trade value in these kinds of worlds. The people who are smokers are going to be desperate for them. So he's gonna go ahead and grab them, just in case he ever meets another survivor. Okay, busting down another building, we did finally find something that we can use as a disinfectant. We have some alcohol wipes here. We can't fit the boxes, but we can fit the wipes. And we're going to go ahead and take those with us, and we'll also take the multivitamins and the sleeping pills. Okay, so we have the basics of medical survival now. The next thing that we need to set up is we need to figure out, with all of this water being frozen in the taps, we need to figure out our food and water situation. We've seen a lot of food around, so we should be good there. We'll go ahead and put down the medicine that I don't think we're going to be using anytime soon. And we'll just keep the bare minimum on us, because we don't have that much room. One thing that we might be able to look into is all of the water heaters are going to be on the basement floor, and going into the basement of this building sounds like a absolutely terrible idea, but there could be a water heater up on the roof. I didn't see one earlier, and it looks like that's because there isn't one. Okay, so the next place that we could get water is that some of these places are going to have some drinks in the fridges, so we can take the forest honey. That's just kind of good in general. And there's some ale here. Once the water unfreezes in the bathrooms, we'll be pretty good for at least a while, but we are going to be constantly slowly running out of water. Food and water is going to be our main concern living up here. Ooh, 3 bottles of lemonade. Perfect. Okay. Maintaining some level of convention. He's trying to just put all of this back into his personal fridge. We also have some of the bottles of mineral water that we had in our own fridge as well. And some mushy oranges and cranberries that aren't going to last very long, so we're going to just go ahead and eat those. I think we're also going to go ahead and make that brazier now that we're not in a dire situation. And we'll set that up somewhere. Like here. As Aiden peeked out the window real quick, we saw that zombies might be seeing or hearing us from a pretty long distance, as there's now a significant horde gathering around the southern side of this building, and they have just been tearing through the first floor. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to close this, and we'll leave it open over here just a little bit, in the hope that they're not going to be able to see us as well. Ideally, we get power going at some point, but that's going to be a lot harder, and that's not going to be... We're going to need to find some solar panels or something like that, and since there aren't any solar panels on this building, that's going to be kind of a little bit of a hassle to get done. But I think what Aid is going to focus on for now is just getting things together and figuring out what all he can use. He's going to go around and disassemble as much as he can on this first floor and just get a bunch of work done on his first day here. We're going to leave most of the furniture in our apartment alone, but we will use everything in the other apartments, just so that we know what we have at our disposal here. The end of Aiden's first day. We have gone around and gathered quite a bit of supplies. We have quite a few tools. We made ourselves a miscellaneous repair kit, which is a very useful thing that kind of just combines a bunch of stuff together. X-Acto knife, wood saw, etc. Gives you a bunch of the basic qualities you need to do a bunch of basic things. A hammer, improvised lockpicks, cell phone, candles. There should be a crowbar somewhere. There we go. And we made a very basic makeshift sling, which is basically just going to last us until we find an actual backpack of some sort. And at the end of the night here, Aiden is going to sit down and baffle over this strange black crystal he has. A strange looking, surprisingly heavy crystal in total darkness. There's a faint light visible in its depths, and focusing on that faint light, we can contemplate the psionic powers that we were gifted when we first touched this crystal. And the one that we want to focus on the most is Force Shove. If we can get a level or 2 in Force Shove, it will be the best way for Aiden to defend himself in these early days. Because as you saw earlier, his apartment tower, it may be safe on the top floor here. Despite all of the noise we've been making, nothing has wandered its way up here, although ferals will be able to figure that out. But around the base of this building is zombies in every direction. Aiden is going to have to find a way out. He is trapped in his safety. The Cataclysm doesn't believe in safety. We have limited resources. They will run out. But he is hoping to be able to use what he found in all these buildings around him, all of these supplies we have, this huge pile of supplies we managed to gather from some of the nearby places. And we've only kind of gathered a very small amount of what we have. We essentially have several apartments, and the floor below us as well, several apartments of just raw stuff to use to aid in our survival. Unlike many survivors, Aiden is starting safe and must venture into danger. The rest of the megacity is going to be extremely hostile, especially to him. But there's locations nearby like a gun store, electronics store, boxing gym, some pawn shops, thrift stores that are very interesting for him to visit very early. But it will be very difficult to do so. This first episode is an introduction into Aiden's story, a kind of an insight of where we are and where we are going. Aiden is a creature of bionics and psionics that is going to be looking into those fields deeper and deeper as we go, and I greatly look forward to exploring them and this mysterious Exodia that we have been told about. I hope you guys have enjoyed the first episode of this new series, and if you guys are enjoying it or have any suggestions, feel free to give any suggestions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more Cataclysm and hard video games. Bye.